Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, wondering what the future might look like if you needed more help, but didn't want to ask your kids, didn't want to be in a facility, and didn't want to feel like a burden to anyone? If that sounds familiar, I want you to know you're not alone. That thought crosses the minds of so many people as they get older. And it's not about fear, really. It's about dignity, independence, wanting to live life on your terms without handing the keys to someone else. You might be feeling great now, maybe still going for walks, enjoy your hobbies, and even helping others. But in the back of your mind, you know the world around us keeps changing. And traditional solutions like full-time caregivers or moving into a nursing home don't always feel right. Sometimes they're too expensive. Sometimes they take away more control than they give. And sometimes they just don't fit who you are. That's exactly why we're having this conversation today. There are newer, more empowering ways to make sure you or someone you love can stay safe, well-supported, and independent without relying on live-in help, without needing to leave home, and without ever feeling like a burden on family. And these aren't far-fetched ideas or empty promises. They're practical changes you can start making now, no matter your age or health, to set yourself up for the kind of life you actually want to live, not the one you're told to settle for. So grab a cup of tea or coffee, get comfy, and let's talk heart to heart. In this video, we're going to explore 3 modern, empowering approaches to elder care that go beyond the old either-or mindset. This isn't about sacrificing freedom for safety or comfort for convenience. It's about taking back control and creating a lifestyle that keeps you at the center of your own care, where you belong. And by the way, if anything we talk about today resonates with you, or if you got your own experience or wisdom to share, I'd love for you to drop a comment below. Let's build a little community here. It's amazing how much we can learn from each other. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want more practical, uplifting content like this. We're all in this together, and I promise you, there's so much more you can do than you may think. So let's start with one of the most powerful shifts happening right now, something that's quietly changing the way older adults live at home, totally on their own terms. Have you heard of smart wellness setups? I'm not talking about fancy gadgets or expensive tech you'll never use. I'm talking about small, affordable tools you can bring into your home that work in the background, giving you more safety, more peace of mind, and yes, more independence. Let me give you an example. Imagine you live alone, and one night you get up to use the bathroom. It's dark, you're half asleep, you trip, or you feel dizzy. That kind of situation can quickly turn into a serious problem, especially if you can't reach the phone. But now, there are systems, small, discreet ones, that detect falls automatically and send an alert without you having to press anything at all. Even better, you can program them to notify a trusted friend or neighbor instead of calling 911 or sending emergency responders unless it's absolutely necessary. It's not just about emergencies either. These smart wellness tools can learn your routines, like when you usually get up, open the fridge, or go for a walk. If something seems off, say you haven't moved much in 24 hours, it can send a gentle check-in message. Again, nothing invasive, just a helpful nudge that keeps you from feeling isolated or forgotten. And the best part? It gives your family peace of mind without requiring them to hover over you. It means your daughter doesn't have to call every day to make sure you're okay. It means your son can stop worrying when you don't answer a text right away. You're still in charge, but you're not invisible. You're protected without being policed. And if you're thinking, well, that sounds nice, but I'm not very tech savvy, don't worry. These systems are often installed once and run quietly in the background. You don't have to learn anything new or manage settings every day. Many come with local support or helplines that walk you through everything. You won't need your grandkids to program a thing. Now, that's just one way we're seeing people reclaim their space and independence, by using simple tech in a smart, thoughtful way. But it's not the only change that's making a big difference. Let me ask you something. When's the last time someone asked you for help? Not the other way around. You see, One of the hardest parts of getting older isn't just the physical stuff. It's the feeling that you're not needed anymore, that your role in the family has changed from provider or doer to, well, someone who's just being cared for. But here's a little secret. Staying active in your community, in small, meaningful ways, is actually one of the best forms of self-care there is. It keeps your mind sharp, your heart full, and your body moving. And no, I'm not talking about volunteering 5 days a week or taking on huge commitments. I'm talking about being part of something. Even if it's as simple as helping organize a book club, walking your neighbor's dog, or sharing your skills with someone younger. There are programs now, local and virtual, that match older adults with others in our area for simple, helpful exchanges. You might help someone with phone calls or writing tasks, and in return, they help you with a ride to the store or changing light bulbs. It's not charity, it's connection, and it's mutual. This kind of neighborhood-based support, sometimes called aging cooperatively or senior exchange circles, is growing fast. Why? Because it works. It feels better than hiring strangers or relying on your children for every little thing. It reminds you that you still have value, tremendous value, and that accepting help doesn't mean you've lost your independence. In fact, the more connected you are, the more in control you tend to feel. So now that we've looked at how small wellness tech can support your independence and how staying engaged in your community can actually protect it, let's move into something a little deeper, something that touches the way we think, the way we feel, and ultimately, how we live every day. Because when we talk about independence, we often think about physical ability, whether we can drive ourselves, manage the stairs, cook our meals. But there's another layer we don't talk about nearly enough, and that emotional independence. The confidence to trust yourself, to make decisions without second-guessing, and to know that your life still has purpose, even when your routines shift. Now, I want to introduce you to an idea that might sound simple on the surface, but has the power to completely transform how you live: the micro-routine mindset. It's not a fancy term. It's just the idea that small, repeatable habits, done daily without stress or big goals, create stability, keep your brain active, and actually reduce your reliance on outside help. Let me explain what I mean. Picture someone who wakes up every morning, stretches for 5 minutes, waters a few plants, and sits outside for a cup of tea. That's it. Nothing too ambitious. But that tiny routine anchors the day. It tells the brain, you're in charge. This is your day. Over time, those little actions build rhythm. And that rhythm makes it easier to remember things, stay positive, and keep moving. You don't need someone checking in to see if you're okay. Your own rhythm becomes a kind of compass. Now imagine pairing that with something that engages the mind, like writing a few sentences in a journal or learning something new on a tablet. You'd be amazed how many people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s are taking up online classes now. And no, you don't need to become a tech wizard or sit through lectures that put you to sleep. There are fun, easy programs designed just for older adults, where you can learn about photography, cooking, genealogy, even history from the comfort of your favorite chair. No tests, no pressure, just the joy of using your brain in new ways. Here's what makes this so powerful. When your mind is engaged, your memory improves, your mood lifts, you start to feel motivated, not just stable. And that motivation translates into more movement, more confidence, and fewer moments where you need someone else to step in and help. In fact, studies show that consistent routines, even very basic ones, are linked to reduced risk of cognitive decline. That means fewer instances of forgetfulness, fewer medications missed, and fewer moments of disorientation that can lead to falls or panic. So yes, these little habits are more than just comforting. They're protective. They are a form of self-care that doesn't require anyone else to manage or remind you. That's the kind of care we're aiming for here. The kind that starts with you and stays with you. And you know what else happens when you begin building these routines? Other people notice. Your kids stop worrying quite so much. Your friends might even feel inspired. You become an example. proof that aging doesn't mean giving up control. It means growing into a new kind of strength, one that's quieter but just as powerful. Now, I want to pause here for a second and ask you something. What's one small habit, just one, that you could add to your mornings or evenings that would give your day a little more rhythm? Maybe it's as simple as opening a window and taking 5 deep breaths, or doing a quick walk around the house, or writing down one thing you're grateful for. If you feel like sharing, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. What you share might spark an idea for someone else watching. You never know who you can inspire just by showing up and being real. And if you're still with me, if any part of this video so far has spoken to you, go ahead and tap that like button. It really helps more people find this kind of content. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time. There's so much more we can explore together. Now, let's talk about something that brings all of this full circle. Imagine your home, not just as a place where you sleep and eat, but as a partner in your wellness. Not a building, but a space that actively supports your independence. Sound a bit strange at first, right? But stay with me. We're seeing a wave of people in their 60s and beyond who are redesigning or lightly adapting their homes before they ever need outside help. Not massive renovations, just small, thoughtful changes that make life easier now and much easier later. Things like adjusting the height of commonly used items so you're not bending or reaching too much, adding brighter lighting in hallways and entryways to prevent falls, swapping doorknob for levers, even just rethinking where your favorite chair sits so you're getting natural light and staying warmer without cranking the heat. These changes aren't about getting old. They're about getting smart, about future-proofing your space in a way that supports you quietly every single day. One woman I spoke with recently told me she moved her washer and dryer from the basement to the main floor. It wasn't cheap, but she said it was the best decision she's made in the past 10 years. Why? Because now she does laundry whenever she wants, not when someone's around to help. It's those little moments of freedom that add up to a big feeling of confidence, of peace. And if you're renting or not in a position to do renovations, don't worry. There are so many small things you can still do. Non-slip mats in the bathroom, motion-activated night lights, a few grab bars near the shower and toilet. Even rearranging your kitchen so that your go-to items are at waist level can make a big difference in how easily you move through your day. No drama, no waiting on someone else. Just small, powerful choices. So far, we've talked about how smart technology, meaningful community connections, micro-routines, and thoughtful home adjustments can all support your independence. Not someday, but now. These aren't far-off ideas. They're practical steps that bring peace of mind, dignity, and strength. The kind that comes from knowing you're creating a life that doesn't depend on caregivers, nursing homes, or putting pressure on your children to always be there. And now that we've covered these grounded, practical pieces, there's one more thing we need to talk about. Something that brings it all together. Because the way we think, the beliefs we hold about aging, about ourselves, and about what's possible, those beliefs either hold us back or set us free. You see, the biggest shift, the one that really changes everything, doesn't start with a gadget or a program. It starts right here in your mindset. We've all grown up with certain ideas about what aging looks like. Maybe you heard people say things like, getting old means slowing down, or you'll need help sooner or later, or even worse, you shouldn't live alone at your age. And after a while, if you hear those messages enough, you start to believe them, even if part of you doesn't want to. But here's the truth. Aging is not a one-way ticket to decline. It's a stage of life, just like any other. And just like in your 20s or 40s, what you believe about yourself deeply influences the choices you make every day. So let me ask you something. When you think about your future, do you imagine strength, confidence? Do you see yourself still in control, still contributing, still enjoying things you love? If not, I want to gently challenge that picture. Because the people I've met who age well, and I mean really well, all share one thing in common. They believe that life still has chapters left to be written. They stay curious. They focus more on what they can do than what they can't. And when something changes, whether it's energy levels, mobility, or memory, they adapt, not with fear, but with a kind of quiet resilience. There's a power that comes from taking ownership of your life, even in the face of change. And that mindset, it's one of the most powerful tools you have when it comes to aging without relying on full-time help, institutional care, or the constant support of your children. Now, that doesn't mean pretending everything's fine when it's not. It's okay to have days where you feel tired or unsure or even scared about what's ahead. We all do, but the key is not getting stuck there. Instead, ask yourself, what small thing can I do today to make tomorrow a little easier, a little brighter, a little more my own? That could be something as simple as organizing your medications into a weekly pill organizer, which, by the way, is another great way to stay independent without help. Or it could be more emotional, like reaching out to a friend you haven't talked to in a while just to say hello. Sometimes, taking charge of your life in these little ways starts to shift everything else. And if you ever catch yourself thinking, I don't want to burden my kids, please remember this. Your children don't want to see you struggling either. What most families truly want is for their loved ones to be happy, healthy, and safe, without sacrificing who they are in the process. When you take steps to maintain your independence, you're not only protecting your own dignity, you're also giving your children the peace of knowing you're okay. That's not selfish, it's a gift. So, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've talked about. You've learned how a few smart, affordable wellness tools can help you stay safe and self-sufficient without constant monitoring or invasive care. You've seen how staying connected to others in small, mutual ways can create a safety net that's supportive and respectful. You've explored how micro-routines, a learning mindset, and small home adjustments can make a big impact. And now, you know that your mindset, your belief in yourself, is just as important as any tool or strategy you use. You don't have to do it all at once. Just one change, one small shift, can start a ripple effect. Maybe today's the day you finally rearrange that high cabinet you've been meaning to get to. Or maybe you check out a free online class just for fun. Or write down 3 things you want to keep doing for as long as you can. Whether that's gardening, dancing, or baking for your grandkids. Every little step is a statement. A reminder to yourself and the world that your story is still yours to write. And hey, I'd really love to hear from you. What stood out to you in this video? Is there something you're planning to try? Or maybe you've already found something that helps you stay independent, and you want to share it so others can learn from your experience. Either way, scroll down and leave a comment. Your words could be the spark someone else needs today. If this video helped you feel more empowered, even just a little, please give a thumbs up. It helps more people like you find this channel. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. We're building a space here where age is not a limitation. It's a superpower. Here's the thing. Aging isn't about losing your freedom. It's about learning new ways to hold on to it, with grace, with strength, and with a whole lot of courage. So whatever your age, whatever your starting point, just remember, you are not stuck. You are not helpless. You are not alone. Here's to living life on your terms, with joy, with purpose, and with the kind of confidence that only comes from experience. You've earned it, and you still have so much left to give. Take care, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.